The teams enter the Villa Park Arena, and as always for the Premiership and other big matches, it's a full house here at Villa Park for this Midlands derby. Aston Villa against Coventry City. Coventry, of course, have never won in the league at Villa Park, but they did win in the FA Cup here last season. 63 years of league football, 24 attempts, never a Coventry City victory, but of course Aston Villa have got so many problems at the moment. Dion Dublin faces his former club for the first time, and something of a crisis for Dion Dublin at the moment. He's not scored in 8 games, he's only half fit according to manager John Gregory, and he has to have treatment on a hernia complaint very shortly indeed, but he's been battling on for the past couple of months. He's not scored since December, and Stan Collymore, of course, another striker at Aston Villa who there's been much attention focused on this season. He only makes the bench today. I'll run down the teams for you. Aston Villa with Michael Oates in goal, a back four of Watson, Scimeca, Southgate and Wright. Midfield of Taylor, Grayson and Hendrie, with Merson just behind the front two of Dublin and Joachim. That is the same lineup that drew 0-0 with Wimbledon last week. Coventry make one change. John Aloisi in for Noel Whelan, who picked up a shoulder injury against Manchester United last week. So Aloisi up front alongside Darren Huckabee. The side then, Hedman in goal, back four of Nilsson, Shaw, Williams and Burrows. Midfield four of Telfer, McAllister, Boateng and Froggatt, and Huckabee up front alongside Aloisi. John Gregory comes out, takes his place, wave to the Villa fans. It's a year since he took charge here at Villa Park, and what a year it's been for John Gregory. He's had so much to cope with. Stan Collymore and Paul Merson causing him a few problems over recent months, but of course that brilliant start to the season that saw Villa climb straight to the top of the Premiership. An excellent record from John Gregory, but things have gone slightly off the rails over the past few months. The referee today, Uriah Rennie from Sheffield, the two captains Gareth Southgate and Gary McAllister, of course, for Coventry City, and Villa, of course, unchanged from the draw with Wimbledon. Coventry, meanwhile, were losing 1-0 to Manchester United at Highfield Road. An excellent performance by all accounts from the Sky Blues. Very unlucky to lose near the end of that one, but we're just about to get underway at Villa Park. Cracking atmosphere in the ground for what should be an exciting Midlands derby. Coventry in the relegation zone, wanting to climb out. Aston Villa, if they're to have any realistic chance of winning the Premiership, have to get their skates on, starting with this one here today against Coventry City. Referee Rennie will blow his whistle to get us underway, with Dublin and Joachim kicking off for Villa towards the Coventry fans to the right as we look at it. And we're about to get underway in the Midlands derby at Villa Park, as Coventry attempt to put right the fact that they have never won here in the league. That Villa will want to put their recent slide right. That point at Wimbledon last week was the first point of the last 4 games. Coventry immediately trying to put the pressure on Villa at the back, but an early free kick given there. Gary McAllister coming into his own this season after problems with injuries, which meant he missed out on the World Cup. A big blow for McAllister, but he's been an integral part of Coventry this season. Here's Richard Shaw with a header, and McAllister will be closed down quickly. He's so dangerous when he gets space in the midfield, is Gary McAllister, and I expect him to play a key part in this game here today. McAllister left hand side, battling with Taylor over there, and Coventry will just try and build it from the back. Here's Paul Williams, who was in fact sent off at Villa Park for 2 yellow cards last season. And Darren Huckabee has been on fine form this season for Coventry City. Normally up front alongside Noel Whelan, but he picked up a shoulder injury against Manchester United last week. So in has come John Aloisi, that the one change to the lineup. Now here are Villa on the left with Wright. Playing little triangles, edge of the area. Did Shaw tug Joachim there? Obviously not, says referee Rennie, and Coventry will bring it away up to the halfway line. Played out to Huckabee. Scimeca will just back off, and it's down the right hand side. That's a good ball whipped in, and Watson will knock it up to the halfway line. But Coventry have put some early pressure on Villa. Boos from the Coventry fans for Dion Dublin, who of course left Highfield Road, £5.75 million earlier in the season. This is Merson. Knocks the ball forward, looking for the run of Joachim. Burrows is back there, so's Williams, and it'll be knocked clear. Did it go into touch? Yes. Linesman's flag goes up, and this will be a free kick. Julian Joachim has done well for Aston Villa this season. Since his £1.5 million signing from Leicester, he's got bags of pace, which he's been using to great effect this season, although with such as Stan Collymore, who've been playing at the start of the season, Joachim didn't really get much chance to cement his place. Burrows up for McAllister. Good ball out to the left-hand side for Darren Huckabee. Scimeca just backing off. Watson tries to track Huckabee, gets a good challenge in there from Watson. And now Roland Nilsson. Hammered away by Villa, the game not really settling down. Coventry having the better of the early possession here. Roland Nilsson down the line looking for George Boateng. Bit of a battle in the far corner with Wright, and referee Rennie just says that Boateng was pushing, and free kick to Aston Villa. Stan Collymore on the bench today for Villa. He's had some more stress counselling this week, and it's really gone off the rails a bit since Villa's form has taken a dip. This is Watson, plays it up over the halfway line. Joachim with a good turn, but Burrows will battle with him and get the better of him, making Joachim turn back to the halfway line. Villa trying to spread play across to the left-hand side. Roland Nilsson will just let that one go out for a Coventry City throw-in. Rather alarming for Aston Villa that they've once 5 points clear at the top, slipped to 4th place in the league. They've lost the last 3 home games, Fulham, Blackburn and Leeds, and the defence, which was so solid earlier in the season, has caused quite a few problems, because in those last 3 home games they've conceded 7 goals. 4 league games without a win, and 3 defeats before last week's 0-0 at Wimbledon. And in fact, since the first defeat of the season, when they lost 4-2 at home to Liverpool, they've only got 16 points from a possible 45, as that effort on the left-hand side didn't trouble the Aston Villa defenders. Across from Froggatt, not finding a blue shirt in the penalty area, but it really is alarming for Aston Villa. Only won twice in 1999, and if Coventry are to get out of the relegation zone, well, what a better place to start their climb from the foot of the table than here against their Midlands rivals. Good header from Boateng, puts Villa back on the back foot. Watson with space as he moves over the halfway line. Good ball through, and plenty of space here for Paul Merson. That's a bad ball in though, and headed away by Williams. Cushion down there for Aston Villa for Alan Wright. And this is a powerful shot from outside the area, not far wide. Good effort that from Villa. Simon Grayson coming fairly close. Hedman not troubled in the goal in the end, but it wasn't far wide. Cracking shot from Simon Grayson. Here comes the corner. That's Southgate with a header. Hedman will come and claim that against Ian Taylor. Has he come outside his area? Was he pushed by Taylor? Hedman, such a strong keeper, the Swedish international. And the free kick goes his way in front of his own supporters. Coventry kicking towards the famous Holt end of the ground in this first half. And that was pushing from Gareth Southgate in the back to give Coventry a free kick. Good position this, although Gary McAllister decides to take a quick one. Was there a push there on Huckabee? The referee says no, the ball rolls out, and rather scrappy start to the game. Michael Oates, been with Villa since 1991, 6 England under-21 caps to his credit. He's really had a chance for the first time to establish himself at Villa Park this season with the injury to Mark Bosnich. Before that he was in and out and didn't really get much chance to establish himself, but an excellent keeper. That's a good header up from Williams, and this is Huckabee. Got plenty of strength. Lovely ball through for McAllister. There's a chance here in the middle for Aloisi, but that's a good tackle from Watson, because that was extremely dangerous. And the man that Coventry bought from Portsmouth was nearly on the end of that. Vital tackle from Watson, and a very good ball in from Gary McAllister. So this Coventry's first corner of the game. We'll come back out to Gary McAllister, gets a second chance. This is Burrows. Villa should clear this. Plenty of space for Southgate to just stop and look at the options available. That's Merson. Poor ball in from Paul Merson. Haven't seen much of Dion Dublin so far up against his old club. They've adapted well since losing Dion Dublin, have Coventry City, but are still struggling down the bottom of the Premiership, although Gordon Strachan has said he's been extremely pleased with some of the recent performances, and they did extremely well against Manchester United. Unfortunate to lose that one last week. This is Watson. And Dublin, boos ring out around Villa Park from the Coventry fans, but that's a very good ball from Dublin. Out wide for Lee Hendrie. He tries to find a gap through. This is Joachim. McAllister will put his foot on it. Roger Nilsson. Huckabee can't control it. He'll go back with Gareth Southgate. Scimeca for Watson. No efforts on goal so far in the game. Burrows, Williams, back to Hedman. That's a poor kick, and this is Julian Joachim with plenty of space. Dublin to the left-hand side. Will Joachim try and go himself? He eventually uses Dion Dublin. And then back out for Paul Merson. Is that a tug from Gary McAllister? No, says the referee. And Coventry could build here. McAllister for Aloisi. Huckabee's up there. Linesman's flag wasn't up, but the ball runs through for Steve Watson anyway. Coventry could go out of the bottom three with a win today. They're 2 points behind Blackburn and Charlton. 1 win in 5 for the Sky Blues. But as I say, the performances have been getting better over the past few months. This is Merson. Back post is Lee Hendrie. And that's helped out for an Aston Villa corner. Villa's second corner of the game. An in-swinger from Lee Hendrie, looking for the head of Southgate, headed away, edge of the area. Boateng trying to get onto it, and eventually the referee's whistle comes to the aid of Coventry. Will give them a breather. It looks as if George Boateng has got a problem with his knee in the challenge on the edge of the area. You might remember it was George Boateng's excellent run and a cracking pass that set up the winner here at Villa Park in the FA Cup last season, when Coventry got their first ever win at Villa Park. And the Ghanaian-born Dutch under-21 skipper, has been the model of consistency in the City midfield this season. Just trying to shake off that injury. He'll have to go off the pitch and come back on. Looks as if he's running a bit easier now. John Gregory celebrating a year in charge at Villa Park, although it's rather gone a bit downhill for him over recent weeks. Plenty of space here though for Paul Merson. Out wide is Joachim. Burrows comes across to try and close, but this is dangerous. Edge of the area, plenty of space for Lee Hendrie. Challenged by Nilsson. It's Wright's cross into the middle, and this is Watson. Now Merson, good ball over the edge of the 6-yard box. That was an excellent ball from Merson, and a good take from Magnus Hedman, because Dion Dublin was lurking there. Hedman coming out at crosses, one of his strengths. And he's got Aston Villa to thank, actually, for his first ever game for Coventry. It was immediately after they'd played Villa. Steve Grizovic left out of the side last season after the Villa game, and Hedman was given his chance and has taken it after that. Good effort from Huckerby to try and get the ball in, but knocked behind by Villa. So it'll be Steve Froggatt back at his old club to swing in Coventry's second corner. Oakes comes, that's not taken well by Oakes at all. Has he flattened Burrows in the process? The referee calls play back. Burrows looks to have taken a bit of a knock to his face, or it might be his ribs, but when Oakes came there, he was in no man's land. You really can't afford not to get the ball in that position if you're a goalkeeper. And he just appeared to elbow David Burrows. But not looking too comfortable there, Michael Oakes. John Gregory feels it should be given back to Aston Villa, and indeed it is. And it's Alan Wright. Here is Grayson. And Hendrie. Good tackle by Nilsson. And this is Boateng. We've seen his strength and runs from midfield this season. They've been an integral part of Coventry City's play, but he can't create anything there. And this is Dion Dublin. You can tell when it's Dublin because the boos ring out every time he gets the ball. Slip from Watson. Good foot in there from Froggatt. And it's a Villa throw. And that's Scimeca who goes all the way back to Michael Oakes. Nilsson with the header. Alan Wright challenging with Boateng. And you wouldn't give him many people a chance against George Boateng because he's got such strength. And he has a crack out from a long way outside the area, George Boateng. Extremely ambitious. And maybe just thinking that he's seen Michael Oakes look slightly dodgy on the previous cross, so he'd try the Villa keeper out. But no real trouble for Michael Oakes there. Here's Burrows. And Froggatt with a long sweeping ball. Will Huckerby keep it in? Does well far side. The Villa fans say that that went out, but that's a good whipped cross in from Huckerby for Aloisi. Interesting to see how these two combine up front, with Huckerby not used to playing alongside Aloisi. It's normally Noel Whelan up there. Watson with a searching ball forward, but too much pace on it, much to the delight of the City fans behind the goal. Still 0-0 then in the Midlands derby at Villa Park. The atmosphere yet to really take off for such a big local derby. Here's Froggatt, back to McAllister. Boateng's moved further forward in this attack, but none of the front three, as it is for Coventry at the moment, will get the ball, because Villa will come away with a charging run from Watson. Nilsson steps in well. This is Boateng, who really does get up and down the pitch. Huckerby up against Wright. Good ball in from Huckerby, but Southgate knocks it clear. That's been Coventry's most dangerous path of attack so far. Huckerby's whipped balls into the box, as it has been so often this season. Whilst at the other end, bar a couple of corners, Villa haven't really had any direct attempt on Magnus Hedman's goal. Here's Williams with the long ball upfield. Quite a scrappy opening to the game. Very little pattern, as you would expect probably for a derby match. Villa won the game at Highfield Road earlier in the season by 2-1. That was of course during their unbeaten run of 12 games at the start of the season. It's all gone sour for them since then, but still in with an excellent chance of place in the Champions League. They'll have to get their skates on though. This is Roland Nilsson. Huckerby's offside as he comes back, but Aloisi turns. He's got some strength about him, has Aloisi. And immediately Villa break. Good ball from Merson. Was Burrows tugging on Julian Joachim? Burrows and certainly Williams think Joachim dived there. And Burrows' hand was on Joachim's shoulder, but there didn't look to be too much force. Simon Grayson offside. And maybe a bit of niggle just creeping into this Midlands derby game. This is Boateng, can't quite control it. And Alan Wright will take the throw in. Here's Lee Hendrie for Simon Grayson. Free kick given Villa's way. Dublin gets the header in. Merson has a crack at goal. Dion Dublin will be known to Coventry about his strength in the air. It was his flick on, providing Merson with this chance. And not too far over, but still no direct trouble for Magnus Hedman. Stan Collymore and Mark Bosnich amongst the Aston Villa substitutes today. Bosnich just coming back from injury. Plenty of space here for Paul Merson. Froggatt will track back, but in the end there wasn't any trouble caused anyway. The danger not over as Dion Dublin picks it up and spreads it to this near side. Merson. Villa just happy to knock it about, play the patient build-up, but then that's a poor ball, and Richard Shaw up to Aloisi, breaking away. Couldn't quite get the ball through. Referee Rennie says play on. No handball from Richard Shaw. And if it was, Villa have the advantage with Merson for Dublin. Merson still making the run off to his left, but Villa, when they do have the possession going forward, don't seem to be able to create it into any sort of danger in the penalty area. And that really sums up the scrappy start to the game. Burrows back for Williams. Good foot in from Gary McAllister. And Huckabee chasing down the left-hand side. Scimeca's there. Huckabee tries to get the shot in, but that's a foot in from Ricky Scimeca. Coventry just starting to put their foot on the pedal and put a bit more pressure on Aston Villa. Boateng. Out for Froggatt. Here's Aloisi, good touch to control, and that's the first goal of the game, and it's John Aloisi. An excellent finish from John Aloisi. And Michael Oakes looks in disbelief. Coventry City take the lead. They've never won at Villa Park in the league, but after 25 minutes, John Aloisi, the £650,000 signing from Portsmouth, has opened the scoring. The ball in from Froggatt, the touch there from Aloisi into the gap, and then sliding in past Scimeca. Oakes with no chance, and in front of the Holt end, Coventry lead Villa by 1-0. More problems for John Gregory. What a boost for the Sky Blues. Well, that puts the onus firmly on Aston Villa to come back at Coventry City. They weren't by any means piling any pressure on in the first 25 minutes, but they'll have to change things around now, because Villa look low on confidence and they look ragged. Can only spur on the Sky Blues though. Richard Shaw. Paul Williams. Alan Wright needs chasing back. Huckabee will be up there to close him down, but Villa have space to bring it away. Hendrie with a good ball through here for Joachim. He's beaten the offside trap. Joachim can't get the cross past Williams, so Villa will have to build down another avenue, and this is Watson. Froggatt gets a good challenge in, and Burrows will set Coventry going down the left with Gary McAllister. Here's Aloisi, leaves it for McAllister, and this is Huckabee. Coventry fans say he was pulled down by Scimeca. Huckabee certainly thinks he deserves a penalty. It was all set up thanks to an excellent run by Gary McAllister. Just switched his pass at the last minute and looked to be 50-50 between Huckabee and Scimeca. Huckabee not happy, but probably the right decision from Uriah Rennie, the referee from Sheffield, who's also on the football task force. Shaw battling with Dublin and gets the free kick. No bookings yet this afternoon. And a substitution for Aston Villa. Ian Taylor having to go off. This is Mark Draper. 29 minutes gone. Taylor looks like he's taken a knock, and his action is over for the afternoon. But an excellent replacement to come off the bench. Villa have got quite a bit of strength in depth, and Mark Draper, an exceptional talent. This is Huckabee. We've seen a couple of his dangerous balls into the box this afternoon, this time whipped back post. Watson will just clear it. Villa haven't settled, and that substitution won't help matters either. They've got to start again. Free kick for Villa. And this is Merson. Joachim makes the run to the right-hand side, but that's up only for a blue shirt of Williams and not clear by Coventry. Villa seem to be lacking ideas and maybe lacking a bit of passion. George Boateng certainly doesn't, though. Here he comes to the edge of the area. Unfortunately, Huckabee and Aloisi didn't read that. Villa 0, Coventry City 1. Just over the half hour played at Villa Park. And this is Paul Merson. Burrows gets the tackle in. Draper trying to get his first touch, but Coventry looking cool, calm and composed this afternoon. With Huckabee, did that ball go out? Yes, pulled back. Linesman's flag goes up. Here's Joachim. Plenty of space for Joachim to run at Williams, but he'll get past him at the second attempt. Did Williams pull Joachim down to the ground there? It looked initially as if he did, and I think the referee might well put Williams into the book. Joachim's pace and strength took him past Williams, and it's a yellow card for Paul Williams, who was sent off here last season. Here the Villa fans really for the first time in the game so far, they've been extremely quiet this afternoon. And Dublin will be one of the main targets in the box. It's Wright with a free kick, headed clear by Burrows, and knocked away by Nilsson. Southgate, the lone defender, all the way back to Michael Oakes, and the 25-year-old keeper with the long clearance that achieves only a Coventry City free kick for a push on Richard Shaw. The rain coming down now at Villa Park. Make it a bit harder to pass the ball on the slippery surface, but not a bad pitch here at all at Villa Park when you look around and see the state of some of the Premiership pitches at the moment. Old Trafford's not in good shape, and neither's the City ground, for two to mention. That ball in there from Boateng, but neither Huckabee or Aloisi in the box, giving this man Steve Watson the chance to knock the ball up. Probably waited just a bit too much, and Joachim couldn't quite keep it in, but if that had just been a couple of yards slower, then Joachim could have caused problems for Coventry City, but as it is, rather goes along with the flow of the game, because whenever Villa have looked to threaten, they've been unable to make anything of it, whereas Coventry have taken the most of their chances and lead by that John Aloisi goal. Here's Draper, back to Alan Wright, and Villa really are on the back foot at the moment. Good performance this from Coventry City so far. The onus firmly on their West Midlands neighbours to come back out at them, which isn't at all easy when you've been going through the sort of bad run that Aston Villa have recently. This is Froggatt. Through for Huckabee, good turn from Huckabee, but he just couldn't quite control it when he did turn. Danger not clear yet for Villa, because Roland Nilsson picks it up here. Boateng. And Oakes with the catch. Fairly easy stuff for Michael Oakes, who the one time he has been put under pressure in the box looked quite dodgy. Coming to claim a corner and missing it under the challenge of David Burrows back when it was 0-0. Wasn't really at fault for the Aloisi goal though, because it was a good touch from Aloisi and a good left foot finish after he'd beaten Scimeca. But left Oakes stranded, and the ball in the back of the net. Not looked anywhere near his best so far today, has Paul Merson. David Burrows with a searching ball forward, but Southgate shepherds it away from Huckabee and back to his goalkeeper. Gareth Southgate, of course, firmly established as one of the country's best centre-halves. He's proved that in his displays for England. He's been a linchpin at the back for Villa this season. Here's Watson. Hedman has to come and claim that one. It was well worked by Steve Watson. Managed to shake off the attention of two Coventry City defenders. But no problem for Magnus Hedman, who came out and took it well. And really, Coventry haven't looked under much threat whatsoever so far. Here's Aloisi, scorer of that first goal. The run at Scimeca, right foot. Not too much power behind that shot. But with the rain falling at Villa Park, it's always worth the crack at goal. Along the floor, might take a bobble somewhere along the line. Didn't on that occasion. But when things are going your way, as they seem to be so far for Coventry City, well, why not have a shot at goal? This is Huckabee. His first touch takes him a bit further out wide than he wanted maybe, but that's a good ball in for McAllister. And Nilsson finds Boateng, who has plenty of space. Coventry forced to go back though. A shot from Telfer from long range, not causing any trouble. So Villa's title challenge really has come off the rails, and they'll be worrying now about even missing out on Europe, because their form of late has been very poor indeed. Next they're at home to Chelsea, and they've also got to go to Manchester United and Arsenal before the end of the season. So some big games coming up for Aston Villa. Hedman's come right out of his box there. Shaw was chasing back with Joachim, but Hedman putting it into touch and making sure. This is Nilsson battling with Lee Hendrie over the far side. He's pushed down to the ground. Lee Hendrie actually scored his first ever goal for Aston Villa in the 3-0 win over Coventry City last season. And he's really come into his own since being given a good run in the Villa side. Kick given for the push on Dion Dublin, who won't be enjoying this one against his former club. Rain coming down quite heavily now as Boateng clears it for Coventry City. And it's Mark Draper with the throw-in. Steve Watson has plenty of space, has a crack at goal, and that's a good save from Magnus Hedman, because the conditions aren't making it easy this afternoon. And a rifling shot from Watson. Quite a way outside the area. And Magnus Hedman taking it at the second attempt. An excellent shot stopper, Magnus Hedman. And keeping on the tradition of excellent goalkeeping at Highfield Road. Following in the footsteps, of course, of Steve Agrizovic. Here's Watson. Good ball into the box. Dublin up against Williams, an intriguing contest. It looks as if Steve Watson's in trouble. The rain lashing down at Villa Park. And Steve Watson looks to be in trouble. Went in for the challenge with David Burrows. And the 24-year-old who signed from Newcastle, who's made a name for himself at right back this season. Looks to be struggling. Looks like he's holding his ankle there. And John Gregory faced with yet more problems. He's already had to take off Ian Taylor and bring on Mark Draper. But now, just before half-time, Steve Watson looks in pain. And I think it's his ankle that's the problem. Gets a standing ovation from all round the ground. And that hurts. Yes, immediately, as soon as he gets up, goes to feel his ankle. And I think that's the end of Steve Watson's afternoon. Indeed it is, because Villa will bring on a substitute. And Gareth Barry, who's made a name for himself this season as one of John Gregory's young players, comes on and will take the place of Steve Watson. Here's Joachim up against Williams. Roger Nilsson knocks it up to the halfway line. Approaching half-time, and Coventry City lead Villa by 1-0. It's been a good performance from Coventry. They've nullified the threat of Villa at an early stage, not allowed them to get into any flow or pattern, and at the other end have looked dangerous. Here's Barry, the substitute. Mark Draper. Simon Grayson can't find a way through. And this is Froggatt running in on Scimeca. And a booking for Simon Grayson, who can play at right back, so I think John Gregory has just asking him to slot into that right-back position. Gareth Barry, an out-and-out midfielder. And right on half-time, can Coventry drum the nail into the coffin? McAllister looking for Aloisi. The danger not clear. No control that time on the first touch from John Aloisi, the goal scorer. But I'm sure Coventry fans will forgive him for that, because of the excellent control he showed when taking that first Coventry City goal. Two bookings in the first half. Simon Grayson for Villa, Paul Williams for Coventry. And Villa have been forced into making two first half substitutions as referee Uriah Rennie brings the first half to a close. They had to bring Mark Draper on for Ian Taylor, Gareth Barry on for Steve Watson. Villa have been poor. Coventry have been much better than Villa this afternoon so far, and they deserve their lead of 1-0 at the half-time interval. Australian international John Aloisi, the man to get the goal after 25 minutes. A good left foot shot across goal, having beaten Scimeca. And at half-time, the Sky Blues lead the Villa by 1-0. The lashing rain and a cauldron of noise greets the two teams back out onto the Villa Park Arena. And it will be a much happier Coventry City side who come out for the second 45. John Gregory will have had a lot to say to his team in the first half. A lacklustre display from Villa. And that man, John Aloisi, has scored the goal that separates the two teams. So it will be Huckabee and Aloisi to get us underway. And this is David Burrows. Free kick for a push from Southgate. Players just losing their feet a bit on the slippery surface, the rain beginning to settle in some places. And Hedman does well to calmly play the ball out from the penalty area. No more substitutions at half-time, so the teams line up as they finish the first half. Rennie, one of the game's leading referees. He's added the name of Lee Hendrie to his notebook this afternoon, the third booking of the afternoon, and that's Scimeca with the header, but McAllister brings it down, and now there's space for Froggatt on the left hand side. Burrows is on the overlap. And that's an important tackle in there from Grayson, who's had to move back from right side of midfield to right back after that injury to Steve Watson at the end of the first half. And this will be an in-swinging corner from Gary McAllister. McAllister again with the ball into the box. Williams can't get on the end of it. Southgate it is who knocks it clear. And Villa back under pressure right at the start of the second half. Second corner then in quick succession. Oakes comes and punches it. Boateng tries the shot, hooked clear eventually for Villa, but Coventry might fancy whipping a few more balls into the box because Michael Oakes doesn't look too comfortable this afternoon. Just over 3 minutes at the start of the second half. Coventry lead Villa by 1-0. And McAllister with the free kick. It's the header from Telfer. Just off target and not too much power behind it, allowing Michael Oakes to keep the ball in. Managed to outjump Alan Wright. And Oakes just managing to keep the ball in there. Dublin chasing back with Williams, and the Villa fans appeal for a corner, but that will be a goal kick. Extremely quiet this afternoon, Dion Dublin. Had very little influence so far on the game against his old club. Ball from Hendrie, giving play straight back to Coventry City. And David Burrows over the far side has space. It's Aloisi out to the left hand side for Froggatt. Grayson tracking back. Good cross in from Froggatt. Boateng trying to get the head on. In the end, just too high for George Boateng. Here's Huckerby though. He's got space to run, gets into the box up against Gareth Southgate, pulled back. This is Boateng, chance for Coventry, and Boateng uses his strength. And look at him, isn't he happy, George Boateng, because he's just doubled Coventry City's lead. Huckerby's pace, fantastic pullback, and George Boateng with a good finish. And Aston Villa's problems grow greater. Huckerby pulled back from Southgate, and Boateng with a powerful shot into the roof of the net. 5 minutes gone at the start of the second half. It says thunder on his hat, and he's got a face of thunder, John Gregory, because his side now face an uphill task. Coventry City see chance to move out of the bottom three of the Premiership. John Aloisi got the first, George Boateng with the second, You have to compliment Darren Huckabee, who's just forced a corner there for the parts he played in the goal. A good run from outside the penalty area. And a good pull back from Huckabee. Takes this one short for Huckabee. Right, no messing. Gets the tackle in and gives Coventry another corner. But Villa really have got to change things now. Draper through for Merson. This is Dion Dublin, but he won't get there because Roger Nilsson gets a good foot in. And it's whacked clear by Coventry. Villa fans urging their team on, knowing they have to pull something back soon if they're to deny Coventry first ever league win at Villa Park. Richard Shaw with the blast clear, up for Aloisi to chase. Scimeca's there. It's been a good tussle this afternoon between Scimeca and Aloisi. And so far the Coventry man is winning the day. Alan Wright's ball for Lee Hendrie, and this is Julian Joachim up against Richard Shaw. Throw in for Villa. Here's Mark Draper, the first half substitute. Joachim can't quite control it. It runs through to Shaw, but he's given it away to Lee Hendrie. In the end, Coventry can clear, but Villa putting their first real period of sustained pressure on Coventry in the whole of the game. This is Merson with the ball through. Lee Hendrie. And this is Joachim up against Shaw. Villa fans claim a penalty, and Uriah Rennie points to the penalty spot. Julian Joachim adjudged to have been fouled by Richard Shaw. And this will mean Dion Dublin will go from the spot against his old club. Well, was there contact? The referee thought so. And now in front of the Holt end, where Dion Dublin is hero to many of the Villa fans. He puts the ball on the spot in front of his former teammate Magnus Hedman. Dublin without a goal in 8 games brings Villa back into it. It's 2-1. Dion Dublin's first goal in 9. And in his first game since his move for £5.75 million from Coventry, he scores against them from the penalty spot. And immediately John Gregory will make a substitution. Stan Collymore is going to come on, much to the delight of the Villa fans, who sense they're back into this one now at 2-1. He's had off-the-field problems, as has this man, Paul Merson. And it's Mark Draper who makes way. Stan Collymore has been receiving more stress counselling this week. Let's see if he can perform stress-free on the football pitch, where he gets paid for his efforts. Mark Draper, who's only been on since the half-hour mark, having come on for Ian Taylor. is the man to make way. And the Villa fans voice their opinion. They get behind their team. And now we've got a game. The first time this afternoon, really, that the Midlands derby has got spicy, with the result possibly going either way now. Up until that stage when Villa scored from the penalty spot, it really was all Coventry City. But maybe now we'll have a bit more of a battle. This is George Boateng for City. Does well against 3 Villa players. Back to Roland Nilsson. And Boateng brought down by Alan Wright. And a free kick in a dangerous position. Nearly 13 minutes gone in the second half. Aston Villa 1, Coventry City 2. 2 players in front of the 2 takers. Steve Froggatt moves away, so it'll be Gary McAllister with his right foot. Boateng from the edge of the area, not far wide either. Good effort from George Boateng. He's been impressive this afternoon. Not far wide with that effort. Free kick for Coventry City. Although the referee tells Williams to get up. Dublin maybe just a bit more ferocious than he should have been with that challenge. But then it is a derby game after all. And that a good tackle from David Burrows. This is Merson's high ball over, looking for Hendrie. It's flicked on by Collymore. And Dublin coming close. He says he should get a corner. But Collymore making a nuisance of himself within minutes of coming onto the field. And Dublin just putting it wide. Collymore, a roar around Villa Park whenever he gets anywhere near the ball, but can't find Dublin. It's Richard Shaw it is that puts it out for a throw-in. Here's John Aloisi brought clattering to the ground by Alan Wright. Clear free kick. Maybe he just twisted his neck a bit in the challenge from Alan Wright. The referee Uriah Rennie has refereed quite well this afternoon. Over the hour mark at Villa Park, and the Sky Blues lead Villa by 2-1. This is Alan Wright, and Nilsson's ball forward looking for Huckabee is hit far too hard. And it'll be Alan Wright to take the throw-in. Here's Merson. Out wide for Grayson. And up for Julian Joachim, up against David Burrows. Joachim inside for Merson. And he'll try and get the cross in, but it's a good challenge from David Burrows. And Villa just stepping things up a bit now. They had to after that first half display. It'll be Simon Grayson with the throw-in. And the header away by Williams. Fall down to the edge of the area. Boateng tries to clear it, but Villa can't get the shot in on goal. Cleared momentarily. Wright up for Dublin, but that won't trouble Magnus Hedman. No pace or power on the header from Dion Dublin, who, even though it was a penalty that he scored, will be mighty relieved to get his first goal in 9 games, Dion Dublin. Villa manager John Gregory accepts that Dublin will have to go into hospital soon. He's playing through the pain barrier, the former Coventry striker. Got to have an operation on his hernia. And here's one of his strike partners, Stan Collymore. Paul Merson. Williams clears, but Hendrie will battle with him well on the far side, and looks like Villa have won a corner. Hendrie trying to pull the ball back across. And the block needed from the Coventry defender. Merson with the out-swinging corner. That's the header from Dublin, but quite a way wide. Hedman asks his defence why Dublin was allowed to get the challenge in. Free header on goal from Dion Dublin, but it didn't cause any problems. The Coventry bench must be extremely pleased with the performance they've seen so far this afternoon. Although you just feel things getting a bit tense down there because Villa are coming into the game a little bit more. Now here's Huckerby, he's got plenty of space, gets to the edge of the box. The shot is wayward. It was the same sort of position from the run he made to set up Boateng for the second goal. But this time he had a crack himself and didn't trouble Michael Oakes. Richard Shaw with a good header. That would have been interesting, Huckerby up against Scimeca, but the referee blows for a foul. 25 minutes to go at Villa Park, 2-1 to Coventry. And this is George Boateng, scorer of the second goal for Telfer. And Aloisi brought down by Gareth Southgate, who offers a helping hand to get Aloisi up off the floor, but it looks like the Aston Villa captain will be the latest name added to the referee's notebook. A yellow card for him, to add to that of Lee Hendrie earlier in the half. And Aloisi taken out from behind. As normal with the City set pieces, Gary McAllister. Tries to find a Coventry shirt, but it's cleared easily by Aston Villa, who will then get a free kick right on the halfway line. Telfer with the handball, and Villa take the free kick quickly. This is Riccardo Scimeca. Dion Dublin wanting to get on with things quickly. He knows if the scoreline stays like this, it'll be no help to Aston Villa in their current situation whatsoever. Fourth in the Premiership and 10 points off the leaders, 5 behind Arsenal in third place, and Villa's early season hopes of the Champions League place come the end of the season are fading by the day. Hedman with the long ball upfield. Firm header from Southgate, but back from Richard Shaw. Pin ball in the midfield until Shaw puts his foot on it this time. Boateng. Roland Nilsson. And a good header from Gary McAllister. Foot up from Telfer on Paul Merson. Free kick for Villa. They take it quickly. The referee says play on. This is Gary McAllister. Stan Collymore thought he was fouled by David Burrows, getting a bit niggly in the midfield. But Coventry have it with George Boateng. Back to Telfer. And this is Roland Nilsson. Helped back by Simon Grayson to Michael Oakes. Dublin and Williams has been an intriguing battle. Williams against Dublin and Aloisi this afternoon has not moved an inch. Steve Froggatt down injured. Of course, Froggatt, a former Villa player, arrived at Coventry via Wolves in the summer. Grayson with the tackle on Froggatt there, which was causing pain for Steve Froggatt. He did actually play at Villa Park last season for Wolves, but it wasn't against Villa, it was against Arsenal in the FA Cup semi-final last year. And it's just under 5 years since he left Villa Park. Back playing in the Premiership after time with Wolves in the First Division. Gordon Strachan must be pleased with the performance this afternoon. Always likes to have a quiet word with the officials, give his point of view. He'll be a very proud man come 4:45 if Coventry take 3 points. Back along the motorway. And the ball is given back to the keeper, Magnus Hedman. Here's McAllister, tries to help the ball out to the left-hand side for Froggatt, who's back on and running off his injury. And this is Froggatt over the far side against the Villa man. Coventry get it back with Huckabee. McAllister. Ball forward up for Huckabee from Burrows. And a free kick given. Tussle between Huckabee and Scimeca. And this is a dangerous position. Here's the free kick for Aloisi. It's his second of the game. It's 3 for Coventry City. And Aloisi, with a cracking left foot finish, gets on to the end of the free kick. Jubilant City fans behind the goal, because they lead by 3-1. 17 minutes to go at Villa Park. The free kick swung in from Froggatt. Aloisi getting the better of Gareth Southgate. Not many people do, but it shows what a good performance we've had from Aloisi this afternoon. He beat off Scimeca for the first game, for the first goal. He beat off Southgate for the second. And in between that, one from Boateng means Coventry City have got 3. Villa only have 1. And that about sums up Coventry City's domination in the game. John Aloisi proving he's very much a bargain at just £650,000 from Portsmouth. And Coventry City being able to take advantage of Portsmouth's financial crisis. They've had to offload a number of players for a lot less than their market value, but Coventry benefiting from that. And here's Darren Huckabee. Huckabee on the edge of the area. This would be 4. But he can't quite get the shot in before Scimeca gets back. He thinks he was pushed. But Huckabee into the edge of the area. Southgate was there and Scimeca was tracking back as well before Huckabee could get the shot in. And Coventry will be looking now to just cement their position, 2 goals in front of Villa. Because apart from that Dion Dublin goal from the penalty spot, Villa have looked very little threat at all this afternoon. Here's Julian Joachim. Villa need to pull something back pretty quickly if they're to stop the rot. Here's Gareth Barry. Huckabee working his socks off, as have most of the Coventry team this afternoon. No way through for Villa. Paul Merson. And that's a poor ball from Simon Grayson, who arrived at Villa Park in the close season of 1997 for almost £1.5 million from Leicester City. Now City come forward again with Froggatt. He's up against Scimeca. He does well to stay on his feet. And this is Burrows. Back out for Froggatt. Hendrie for Villa. And Grayson up to Julian Joachim. And 13 minutes to go at Villa Park. 13 minutes for Coventry before they will record their first ever win in the league here at Villa Park. Unless Villa completely change their performance within the next 13 minutes. Here's Gary McAllister. And this is Roland Nilsson. Nilsson up for Boateng, into the middle. Oakes claims that, no one there on the end of that cross from George Boateng, who got City's second. A good strong shot from just a couple of yards out after Huckabee's charging run from outside the box. Not a happy way for John Gregory to celebrate a year in charge at Aston Villa. But for Gordon Strachan and Coventry, it looks like they could be on their way to climbing out of the bottom three of the Premiership. This is Huckabee. And Roland Nilsson as Coventry just keep possession. They're in no hurry, although that rather gives it back to Aston Villa from Roland Nilsson, who's been at Highfield Road since the summer of 1998, when he returned to England after 3 years at Helsingborg, back in his home country, the Swedish international. Went there from Sheffield Wednesday. Good header from Dion Dublin. Huckabee can't find a way through past Alan Wright, and Dublin gives it to Merson, who in turn moves the ball out to Grayson. That's Joachim. Collymore takes it on the chest. He just runs it out of play. Southgate's long ball forward, but it's rather hit and hope, just a whack to get it clear because there's no claret and blue shirt up there. Instead, Darren Huckabee will mount an attack down the left for Coventry. Huckabee, he actually tries a whipping shot in there, and it's parried away by Michael Oakes. A good save in the end. Looked as if Huckabee was shaping to cross it, but a good curling effort on goal. Came round Scimeca, and that was heading for the back of the net before Michael Oakes made the save. This is Hendrie, being given little opportunity to weave his magic this afternoon. Coventry have closed down defended superbly against the attacking threat of Dublin and Hendrie and Joachim, and latterly Stan Collymore since he came on. Hardly got a look in since then. Collymore on for Mark Draper 10 minutes into the second half. When Villa switched to 4-3-3, one of those threes Joachim, he can't get on the end of this ball through. Hedman comes out and knocks it clear. Dublin tries the shot, good save from Hedman. Collymore 6 yards out, and he's hit it into the side netting. But a good save initially from Dublin's shot from Hedman. Collymore unable to fire the rebound into the back of the net. A good chance for Aston Villa. Dublin with a shot. It would have crept in if Hedman hadn't saved down to his left. And then from 6 yards out, Collymore puts it wide. John Gregory can't make any further changes. He's used his 3 substitutes. He'll just be hoping Villa can up the tempo for what now is the last 7 minutes at Villa Park. Coventry appear to be coasting to a very good win indeed, and this is Darren Huckerby up against Scimeca. Plenty of strength from Scimeca, but was he leaning into Huckerby? The referee says the foul was the other way. Here's a good ball forward from McAllister. Boateng's beaten right for pace, he's lobbed the keeper, and George Boateng makes the demolition complete. It's double Dutch as Boateng, the under-21 captain, gets his second goal of the game, and it's most certainly Coventry's day, and that is the goal of the game. A cool finish from George Boateng, just lifted it over Michael Oates, and Villa are down and out. It was McAllister's ball through, Boateng beating right for pace, and a fantastic chip over Michael Oates. It's Aston Villa 1, Coventry City 4. Just over 5 minutes to go at Villa Park. No doubt about the outcome of this one now. And what's more, Aston Villa have now conceded 11 goals in their last 4 home matches. It'll be 16 points for Villa from a possible 48 since mid-November, and John Gregory's side have come well and truly unstuck since the turn of the year, with only 2 wins in 1999. As for City, it's been an excellent all-round performance. 2 for Boateng, 2 for Aloisi, and they've managed to keep Villa extremely quiet up front. This is Dion Dublin, can he pull one back? It's a good save from Hedman with his legs. Alan Wright squares it for Collymore, and this is Merson. Grayson's wide right, but Merson decides to knock it forward himself. Offside flag is up, and Coventry will be in no rush. They'll enjoy this last 5 minutes at Villa Park. Only 1 win in 5 before this for the Sky Blues, but the performances have been improving. Unfortunately, it's brought little reward in terms of points, but this afternoon that man Gordon Strachan must be extremely proud of the way his team have come out and performed. An excellent display. Villa Park, never an easy place to come, and with the added spite of it being a local derby game, his team have performed admirably this afternoon. Collymore is offside, It's the Coventry fans you can hear now singing around Villa Park. Heavily outnumbered this afternoon by the Villa fans, but they've made their voices heard. This is Froggatt, who'll have enjoyed a return to his old club, and Gary McAllister, who's been instrumental in the midfield this afternoon. Cleared by Southgate, up to Joachim, battling with David Burrows, who's then mercilessly chopped to the ground by his former colleague Dion Dublin, who may well make it into the referee's notebook. Uriah Rennie just has to take the heat out of the situation. There's not been too much niggle so far, although this will be the 5th booking as Dublin goes in. And that's bad news for Dion Dublin, because it takes him to a one-match ban. Not too good an afternoon for Dublin against his former club. Into the book, on the losing side. The only consolation, his first goal in 9 games, albeit from the penalty spot. A very well-struck penalty. John Gregory will ponder, where do his Villa side go from here? They've got to get out of this situation pretty sharpish. Well, they might even struggle to make Europe. This is Williams, he'll take the throw in on the halfway line. In fact, he'll leave it for David Burrows. Here's Froggatt. Can Coventry get a 5th right at the death to really rub it in? Froggatt will try to pull the cross back across goal. Boateng can't quite get there before Oakes, who kicks long clear. Nilsson knocks it back up as we move into the final minute at Villa Park. This is Paul Merson, knowing the game already well beyond Aston Villa. And Grayson with the ball up, looking for Dublin. Joachim's there, but no troubling Magnus Hedman. He made a good save from Dion Dublin, Magnus Hedman. And he's performed very well this afternoon, only being beaten from the penalty spot. But as it is, Aston Villa have been soundly beaten. An excellent win for Coventry City as we cruise into injury time at Villa Park. John Aloisi got the first on 25 minutes. A left foot shot across goal, having beaten off Riccardo Scimeca. George Boateng got the second, 5 minutes into the second half. He hammered it in from a couple of yards. A good run from Huckabee setting that one up. Crossed into the box, and Boateng using his strength to knock it home. Villa got one back 4 minutes later through Dion Dublin from the penalty spot. But then 2 goals on 73 and 84 from John Aloisi and George Boateng mean Coventry will take the 3 points and quite probably move out of the bottom 3 in the Premiership. Merson there tries a shot from a long way out. I think Coventry are going to make a substitution. With McSheffrey coming on. And he'll go up front in place of Darren Huckabee, who's done his work for the afternoon. Really has been an excellent performance from Coventry City as we play out injury time. But for Aston Villa, the turmoil continues. That's it, it's all over, and Coventry City get their first ever league win at Villa Park. George Boateng with 2 goals, and 2 from John Aloisi as well. Villa soundly beaten. An excellent afternoon for the Sky Blues. And a very happy Gordon Strachan. Full time at Villa Park in the Midlands derby. Aston Villa 1, Coventry City 4.
Thank you.